Hello and welcome back to the Bright Light Wellness YouTube channel and the Bright Light Wellness Substack. Thank you so much for being here. Today, I really want to have a conversation about nutrition because it's something else that I do in my practice as I work on nutrition consults with people. And some things I notice in myself and with others is the lack of getting enough micronutrients. I mean, everybody thinks about macronutrients. These are your fats, your carbs, your proteins, right? Super important. But we also need enough micronutrients to thrive as well. So I wanted to give you some different themes and thoughts about how to add more micronutrients into your diet. Okay. These micronutrients include things like, your vitamins, right? Your minerals, your trace minerals, antioxidants, phytonutrients, enzymes, cofactors, all that help the body function properly. And these nutrients have a major role in our energy production, our thyroid health, our hormone health, our detoxification, nervous system health, immune health, hydration and electrolyte balance, skin, hair, nails, connective tissue, mood, resilience. They matter in all the things. So they really do matter. And even people that are eating really healthy can be low in micronutrients because of, well, one huge one is the soil depletion that we deal with, especially if you're buying all of your foods from conventional food stores, then you might be getting that. And I don't mean to discredit that or make you feel like, oh no, I need to find local farmers, but I mean, the soil depletion is a real thing. So even even the ones that are grown at farms are not as great, but I mean, you're going to get better quality at a farm, but their soil depletion is a real thing. But we burn through minerals and micronutrients due to stress. People who are eating restrictive diets like keto, carnivore, like autoimmune protocol, low oxalate, low histamine, whatever like diet camp you're following, or you're just trying to eat low calorie, are usually deficient in not only macronutrients, but certainly micronutrients. It could also be like gut issues. It could be antibiotic history, which plays a big role in the gut. That's why I always recommend homeopathy to help clear antibiotic issues. Um, poor food variety. We eat the same things every single day. We are restricting, like I said before, and we're under eating, right? And then if you're exercising a lot too, there's this high nutrient demand from eating so much exercise. Or if you're dealing with chronic illness, you're going to have a more high nutrient demand because you're going to burn through things a lot quicker. So macronutrients actually help the body use the food you eat better. So here's a couple of ones that I did. And I want to just say, I recently, a couple months ago, I started tracking my like I tracked my food into Cronometer because I just want to see like what micronutrients was I missing. And the biggest ones for me were B1 and also calcium. So I've been really intentional about making sure I'm having more B1 and more calcium in my diet. So it's fine for me. I have a great source of local raw dairy that's called Dutch Meadows Farms. I'm going to link my free product guide at the end here so you can see all of the places where I buy these things that I'm mentioning. But I've been intentionally eating more raw dairy. And the best source of B1 is actually pork. Now, pork, people can be, oh, it's not healthy, right? But if you're eating from a high quality, well-sourced form of pork, like I buy pork chops from my farm not my farm, but the farm that I buy from, Dutch Meadows Farm. And they do source the pork is sourced very well. The animals, the pigs there are raised on grass-fed milk. That's it. So they eat a very, very healthy diet. And that makes the pork healthy for us, right? It depends on what the animal is eating because like chickens, turkey, pork, they have one stomach like us, right? They're called monogastric animals. They have one stomach. So they don't digest certain things as well, like seed oils, like corn and soy and things like that as well. And they can't change it in their stomach because they only have this one chamber where beef have four chambers. So when they eat like corn and soy, this really gets oxidized into their fatty acid profile or in their fats, and then that's not healthy for us. But if you're eating good quality, well-sourced pork, amazing, and it's the best source of B1. So I've also been adding more B1 into my life by eating more pork. I'm eating pork chops twice a week, and I really felt really good doing this. So I wanted to also share this. There are other things that I do as well to enhance micronutrients in my diet, and I recommend to clients all the time. So I'm going to share some of those. One of them is bee pollen, which I also do buy, recommend getting it from a good source, but I also do buy from Dutch Meadows Farms, but I've seen some good ones linked as well that I have on my free product guide, but I do buy mine from Dutch Meadows Farms. And bee pollen is such a good, really micronutrient to add into your diet because it has B vitamins in it. So B1, again, B2 and B6 are particularly found in bee pollen. So it's a good way to get more of that in. There's the folate, not folic acid, of course, folate, because that's real. Magnesium, there's zinc, there's selenium, there's iron, there's potassium. It's rich in antioxidants and flavonoids and amino acids. So bee pollen, it packs a big punch. Just get it from a good source, hopefully non-glyphosate, non-GMO, organic. And that's going to support your energy, your nervous system, your immune system, your cellular health. You could put it in smoothies. I don't drink a lot of smoothies, but I throw it on top of yogurt. I throw it on top of oatmeal. That's mainly where I put it. And it's delicious and it tastes good and it's really healthy. Another thing I do, raw honey to me is such a superfood. I buy local again from Dutch Meadows Farms, and it's unprocessed, not, heated. And it actually that even has a small amount of B vitamins. Yes, raw honey, but it's a good source of vitamin C, magnesium, potassium, calcium, iron, again, rich in antioxidants and enzymes. Um, it's good for, of course, soothing the throat if you have a throat issue. It's good for allergies. Actually, bee pollen and honey are great for allergies, especially if you're buying local, because it's the local allergen. It's that like cures like. It's very homeopathic, right? It's that like cures like element. We're introducing that to your body in a small dose. Um, I use honey mostly on yogurt, cottage cheese, but actually on meat, it's really good. Like I'll throw it, like I've have like chicken, rice, and broccoli, and I'll drizzle raw honey on top of it. Of course, you don't want to heat honey. Oh my God, I love string beans with raw honey on top. Like any of my green veggies, like you wouldn't think to add this to your like savory meals, but it actually is really good. It's like this sweet and savory concept. In my recipe ebook, I have a recipe for balsamic chicken, which I use honey for. Again, you don't want to heat this, so I just pour the honey on last when it's like not like hot, like piping hot, but like just because you can kill the beneficial things. So when you put your raw honey in tea and if the tea is piping hot, you actually are destroying some of the good enzymes, not necessarily the nutrients, but more of the enzymes and things like that. I use it in salad dressings all the time. I make my own salad dressings. Like I'll make a salad dressing with just like salt and olive oil and honey, and it's great. It's all I need. And it's like I don't need anything else, and it works deliciously. And yeah. So you could use it there as well. Another thing I do is I use seaweed flakes. I've been doing this for years. And it's such a good mineral booster. So I buy these like there's different. I have it linked in my free product guide. There's like these little salt shakers, but they pour out seaweed instead of salt. And I mean, of course, seaweed is going to be rich in iodine, but also magnesium, calcium, potassium, iron, selenium, zinc, and other trace minerals. And seaweed, all these minerals greatly support your thyroid and your adrenal health, but also replenish minerals and hydration. I throw these on eggs. I throw these in salads, mostly on fish. When I eat fish, I throw it on top, like salmon or cod or haddock or something like that. I throw it on, it tastes good. And you only need to touch. It's just a small amount, like just like a pinch, and you throw it on. And I love that. Broccoli sprouts is another powerhouse functional food. You can actually make broccoli sprouts pretty easy. You just need a jar and some seeds, and that's it. And you can make broccoli sprouts. You can grow them yourself. That's what I do. Those are rich in broccoli sprouts are a really, really great support, but they're rich in vitamin C, vitamin K, folate, sulforaphane, which is really, really potent for detoxification, antioxidants, and even fiber. So it's a big detoxification support, liver support, cellular protection, and antioxidant activity. I tend to eat that on my eggs in the morning. I'll just throw some sprouts in, but also in salads. If a smoothie, if you do smoothies, it could go in there. It does have a flavor, like a broccoli flavor, but I mean, I really like it. So, yeah, that's another one you could do. Herbal teas. I drink herbal teas every day. I'm drinking right out of Blue Bottle Love. This one has a B, says Believe. It's one of my favorite cups. Mine is a mixture of dandelion and stinging nettles right now. Um, and they're an easy way to get more minerals in your life by using herbal teas, right? I do loose leaf teas. I buy organic loose leaf teas, soak them in jars, because I don't want to have the tea bags and all the things. I just do loose leaf teas. But nettles contains iron, magnesium, calcium, potassium, and silica. It's a great form of silica. Another one you could use, well, we'll say nettles, just so you know, if you don't know, it's very good for seasonal allergies. And it's not because, it's an antihistamine, it's because of the nutrients that are in the nettles are very good for the adrenals. Okay. Red raspberry leaf tea is a great one for women if they are having trouble with cramping and menstrual issues. So magnesium, potassium, iron, and calcium are those combinations in there. I like a good chamomile tea too. That's a good antioxidant um, as well. And then there's also, I just have to scroll down on my notes, dandelion root tea, which I use all the time. This one is really good for digestion, liver function, and mineral intake. And that's rich in potassium, magnesium, calcium, iron, vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin K, and that bitter compound is really helpful for us, especially in the spring, to help support stomach acid as well. And it's good for liver and bile support, digestive support, gentle detoxification, one of the most gentle detoxifications I can use, mineral replenishment, and fluid balance. And I make dandelion root tea all the time as well instead of coffee. Like I drink herbal teas and I don't drink coffee. But you could certainly put fresh dandelion greens in salads as well. And another one I use all the time is marshmallow root tea. And this is very soothing for the gut lining, for the throat, and for the urinary tract. So it's very good for the mucous membranes. Stinging nettles happens to also be very good for the urinary tract. I should have said that. But these things are, and it's because of that mineral content that helps with histamine issues. Um, but marshmallow root, think mucous membranes. So calcium, magnesium, zinc, selenium, and it's a mucosal compound. It's a soothing polysaccharide in there. So it's very, very good for mucous membrane support. So if you have leaky gut or if you have respiratory issues or bladder issues or any kind of issues around any kind of mucous membrane, you'd want to think about using this tea. It supports the digestive tract, gut lining, um, any kind of dry or irritated tissues, urinary tract, and even a gentle nervous system support. You want to make this in a cold infusion, meaning that you would take the leaves and you put them in the dry leaves in a jar and you just pour cold water on it and then put it in the fridge for a few hours. And you could put in some lemon with it or like some nettles as well. So those are some really great teas, and they're a great way to add more micronutrients into your diet, right? Um, so yes, another one that I'm always reminding people to do is use good quality sea salts. That's good for cellular hydration and cellular function. Minerals and sea salts, you never want to use your crappy like iodine, like regular table salt, but good sea salt is actually very healthy for us. So you got your sodium, your magnesium, your potassium, your calcium, all your trace minerals. It helps with electrolyte support, hydration, nervous system support. Minerals are so important for nervous system support, adrenal support. And you could just add a little pinch to your water. I add pinches on all my meals. I put them in I put salt in everything I drink and everything I eat, and different varieties of sea salt. So check out my free product guide because I have a list of different sea salts that you could use. Because I like to have a variety of them because then you're getting different micro minerals, like some from the sea and some from the earth. I actually prefer sea salt better than earth salt. Like Redmond's, like an comes from the earth. Doesn't mean it's bad. I just like the sea. The sea is going to have more concentration of minerals. Another thing to do to add to your foods is fresh herbs. I'm growing herbs in my garden right now. The thyme is coming up and the parsley is coming up. Bok choy is coming up too, as well as strawberries in my garden and blueberries, which is so exciting. But more herbs to be coming. Cilantro, I've planted basil, oregano, rosemary, all kinds of herbs. And herbs are really nutrient dense, actually. Parsley is very high in vitamin C, vitamin K, folate, and iron. Again, the good folate that we want. Cilantro, a very good heavy metal chelator, first of all, but it's also rich in vitamin A, vitamin K, and other antioxidants. Basil, vitamin K, manganese, and antioxidants. Oregano, antioxidants, vitamin K, and polyphenols. Rosemary, manganese, which is a tough one to get. That one's actually also low in me, and I started putting rosemary on all the things. And rosemary, if you don't know, is also very good for your memory. So there's another benefit of that. So they're good for digestive support, antioxidant support, detox support, increased nutrient density. I mean, another one I could say is cinnamon. Cinnamon has benefits of blood sugar regulation. That's not an herb that I grow, of course, right? There's like cinnamon and turmeric and nutmeg. These things don't grow where I live, so I don't use them as much, but they also have benefits, right? Citrus in water. I think it's really good to do. I typically have a lemon in my like in my tea. I have lemons, some sort of citrus. I think it's good to have. You could put cucumbers in your water, berries in your water, like whatever in season, herbs in your water, citrus, something, right? Just to give it a little bit of life and a little bit more of a nutrient punch, a little sea salt. So, benefits of citrus, of course, are vitamin C, potassium, flavonoids, and antioxidants. They support cellular hydration, digestive support, mineral support, and immune support. So, excuse me, you could put a little lemon in your water, a little lime, anything like that. Okay. Orange, cucumber, any of these things. Organ meats, if you do well with them, are of course super micronutrient dense and big boosters. Of course, liver is the greatest source of vitamin A and they have usually have different vitamins in them like CoQ10. Heart is the best source of CoQ10. Um, Kidney is the best source of DAO, right? So there are different organs that are really, really nutrient dense and punch. I don't particularly eat a lot of real organ meats, but I do use organ supplements. It's just an easy way to get my daily dose of organs in without overdoing it. But every once in a while, I've had chicken liver, I've had kidney. That's a tough one to do. I mean, I used to buy thymus a lot, and I really did like that. That's really good for your immune system, actually. But anyway, they're going to have, of course, vitamin A, B12, copper, iron, copper. Copper is a good one. Folate, choline. Best source of choline is eggs. Um, yeah, of course, like sardines is another really great way to add some more micronutrients into your diet. It's like a small little thing you can add if you like them. Omega-3s, vitamin D, selenium, calcium, B12. Fermented foods, if you tolerate them well and you like them, they're full of probiotics and vitamin K and B vitamins and organic acids. I make my own sauerkraut and I use a lot of fermented dairy like yogurt and cottage cheese and kefir and things like that in my diet. And if that, of course, fermented foods are great for gut health, nutrient absorption, and digestive supports. Of course, if you have histamine issues, you need to go low and slow with these things. And even if you just have gut issues, go low and slow with fermented foods for sure. And I think it's really nice to add in a variety of colors, right, into your diet, right? To have some orange and some purple and some greens and some reds because they really all serve a different purpose. Like orange foods have beta carotene in it, and purple foods have anthocyanins in them, and dark greens have folate and magnesium, and red foods have lycopene in them. So they all have different nutrient supports for us, right? So most people, if they track anything, and I'm not saying everybody needs to track all the time, each and every day, and I'm not a big fan of that either. But checking in can be helpful. It can helpful to be sure that you're eating enough, especially if you're a woman who's trying to watch her weight. Um, and also, or if you're like just really busy with work and life and you forget to like take care of yourself and nourish yourself, like checking in to see, am I really eating enough on a daily regular? Because most people are under eating when I check in about this. So I think that's really important. Sorry if you hear a little pause there. I got a landline call. So most people are not, I find themselves are undernourishing themselves. And if they are tracking anything, they're only tracking calories, proteins, carbs, fats, which fine, whatever. I mean, there's a use to that. Um, and I don't think there's a need to do that all the time, but I do think it's good to check in on yourself and make sure you're eating enough. That's my, because I know calorie restriction for me was a big part of why I got sick. So I'm just always sharing that piece. Um, but tracking nutrients for a short period of time in an app like Cronometer can be incredibly eye-opening and it's free. So this is why I'm mentioning it to you. So if the paid version, you're going to get a little bit more, but you might notice that you're low in magnesium or potassium or calcium, like I was, or zinc or fiber or certain B vitamins. I was definitely low in B1. B6 was a little bit low too. And just noticing that you're having poor food variety, right? Manganese was low, I said as well. And then you can say, oh, well, what foods can I eat? Can I bring in that have these micronutrients in it so I can upgrade those? Because when you upgrade those micronutrients, you're going to feel better, like guaranteed. And just like even tracking like 1 to 2 weeks here and there, like blindly, just to see what you're doing, and be like, oh, let me add more of this in. Like maybe I'm low in potassium. Okay, I'm gonna eat more potatoes. Like it's just like I'm low in calcium. Oh, maybe I should be eating more milk. Like it, we don't have to be like rigid or dogmatic about it. It's just like a good noticing for us. Okay. And supplements can support healing, but they should not replace nutrient-dense foods, variety, adequate calories, and mineral-rich whole foods. So that's important. And I'm not a huge fan of supplements. If you ever worked with me, you know that. It's not that I'm completely against them, and I do use some, of course, but I do think that I very, very, very much take a food first approach. Can I get this nutrient from food? Can I help my client get more of this nutrient from food? Always. Okay. So I'm always working in that aspect first, you know. Just like, can I get more vitamin D from sunlight, right? Instead of using a pill. Okay. So if you are feeling chronically fatigued, you have nutrient depletion, stuck in restrictive eating, unsure about what your body is missing, overwhelmed by nutrition advice. Who's not? I do offer nutrition consults where I can review your diet plan in depth. So I do, when you do book in that consult, please give yourself a few days in advance. Like don't book it and then tomorrow, coming tomorrow, because I want to track at least 3 days of like a food diary. So I know what you're eating, so I can see what maybe holes are lacking. Um, but I review your diet in depth. I identify nutrient gaps, support mineral balance, digestion, absorption, but in a realistic nourishing plan tailored to you. So you can check that on the link below. It's under my services tab. You can book in a lifestyle nutrition core tab session. In that, I also go over like quantum and circadian biology. So, like, I do an audit of your light environment and your EMF environment, your nutrition, like all of these things is also in there as well. So yeah, it's not just about food as well in these ones. So I hope that this has been really, really helpful and you enjoyed it and you got something out of it. Like you're like, oh, wow, I didn't know that about this food and I'm going to try to incorporate. Or you took like one small advice that you want to try to incorporate into your plan. And I'd love to see you for a nutrition consult and lifestyle consult, and I can support you there. I might talk about exercise with you. Maybe you're over exercising, under exercising. I talk hydration. I talk about all different kinds of things. Usually those consults are not a one-time thing. They're, we meet at least once a month, twice a month, something like that. So we can see how the plan is going. All right. If you have any questions, please put them in the questions below. Please ask them in below. Let me know your thoughts, comments. This was helpful, unhelpful. And something else I was going to say, oh, mineral support also is another thing that I do is I do tissue salt consults, which is a form of homeopathic. So say you're not ready for homeopathy, but you're like, I know I could use some support here with my minerals. I do tissue salt consults as well. If you come to an initial homeopathic session, I would also support tissue salts. And if you're like, what's a tissue salt? It's just homeopathic minerals where you get a nutritive dose and an energetic dose. So it's like a tuning fork for the mineral composition in your body. So it's supporting the mineral composition in your body and the way your body utilizes minerals. Okay, so you can check out that consult if you like as well. And I hope to see you there. And again, let me know if you have any questions. And yeah, I hope this was really supportive. Oh, and I will link my free product guide as well, because this way you can look over it and find some of the things that I mentioned today, like, the iodine salt shakers, or the seaweed salt shakers, or the different kinds of salts that I recommend, or there's a lot of good information on that free product guide, and I'm always updating it. So once you have it and you download it, just hit the little refresher button and every once in a while, and I'm sure that there'll be something new on there that wasn't there, because I'm actually going to just go add a dried cranberries that I actually found without seed oils to the list, because that was not an easy thing to find. So anyway, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will chat with you guys on the next video.